Hey guys, we're back working on the 1950 Nash Statesman. Today I brought all the goodies with me. Let's see if we can get this thing to fire up and run. Thanks for watching. In the last video in this series, we kind of gave everything a quick look over, see what we had to work with, and we didn't really see anything too terrible. It's got oil in it that actually looks pretty clean. We got carburetor. I have ordered a carb kit for this thing and it has not arrived yet, but I'm hoping that we'll be able to at least get this thing to fire as is without having to get too carried away. I would like to get this thing to spin over by hand, 2 full revolutions, to see what the valves are going to do. The good news is that with a flathead engine, the valves are off to the side and we don't have to worry about them hitting pistons. So stuck valves are not the end of the world. It just means that that cylinder won't be developing any compression. Looking down there, I don't think we've got a whole lot of room. We might be able to get on that. Feels like about a 3/4. I'll grab a socket and we'll see if we can get that to spin over. If the fuel pump's going to work, it is kind of already set up to work with a container, and I brought a 1-gallon can of gas that we can use. But I've also got the 2-stroke that will just drizzle down the carburetor and use that to see if it'll fire. We'll get a few tools together and get you set up on a stand, and then we'll take a crack at this and see what we can do. I was right, 3/4 fits. Let's put a mark on the harmonic balancer or the pulley or whatever you want to call it. Then we'll try and run it around. I hear some compression. That's 2. Good stuff. I think I want to pull those spark plugs and squirt a little bit of lube down into those pistons just to give it a little bit better chance. But there's a bunch of shavings and stuff around there. I'm going to have a vacuum cleaner and we'll clean the worst of it up so nothing goes down into the engine. That helped, but there's still some stuff packed in there. Let me grab a screwdriver and see if we can stir it around and break it free. We got all those spark plugs basically cleaned up. We'll give a little squirt around the base of the plug. Just to loosen the threads up. Now let's see what we can do. Not tight at all. Plug looks decent. That one's definitely got a few miles on it. But with the black spray paint that's on it, I'm guessing it was one that was in the engine. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take all these plugs out. You don't need to watch me do that. It's more of the same. I'll take all these plugs out and then we will hook up a battery and see if this thing's going to turn. This should be interesting. I'll bring you back when we're ready to try and spin things over, see what happens. All the plugs are out. That back one was a little cranky about coming, but I got it. Let's see where we're at here. We are a little bit down from full. I got a liter of the good stuff Let me dump about half of that in there so that we get up to the, basically to the full mark. Give this thing a fighting chance. That should be good. And we're right at the full line. A couple of observant viewers pointed out that I hooked up the Buick backwards. Everything post-war apparently in GM is negative ground. Now I knew my Nashes were one and that the Buick was the other, but I thought the Nashes were negative ground and the Buicks were positive. My mistake. So we have positive ground here that we're going to work with. That doesn't want to stay on there. That one will. And the good news is we don't seem to be getting any sparks as we get this connected up. I think that should be good enough. Now you guys are going to have to watch this for me. I'm going to go inside and we'll see if this thing's going to spin over on the starter. Ho ho! We got power coming to the dash, but it appears Mr. Starter Switch is seized. Since the start switch on the floor is being, shall we say, a little grumpy, we're going to have to use a alternative method. I think this is going to work. That sounds not too bad. Not hearing any sparky sparks, but that's not surprising. Actually, I got the ignition off. Maybe that's why. Let me turn the ignition back on. We'll see if we get some sparks off of the spark plug leads. This could be interesting. I do not hear any sparking. Okay, I'm guessing we got to clean some points. Let me get adjusted around. We'll pull that distributor cap off and we'll take a file to those points and see if that fixes our spark issue. I am not going to be able to get you guys down there with any kind of light that you can see what's going on. But that is the rotor. It's got a little bit of grunge on it, so we'll just touch it up. Give it a fighting chance. Disconnect the positive. Now, I don't know if this is the root cause of it or not, but if you look, this is the wire coming down from the coil, and it's a little bit loose on there. I have to grab a pair of pliers and give it just a little snug up, I think. I don't know if that's my problem or whether we've not got power coming to the ignition. Let me grab a tester and see if we've got 6 volts or thereabouts at the coil. So I take the meter, we go to the positive ground, we go to the negative side or hot side of the coil, and we do have 6.162 volts. So power is getting there. How about the other side? Close enough. So, are we just not closing those points? We might be on a bit of a cam. Let's rotate that. There we go. Now we're on a flat. 6-cylinder engine, so there's kind of a 6-sided cam that the points ride on. Okay, I just felt a good zap through my hand when I flicked that. So I would say we got some power happening. And I was holding the lead that goes into the distributor from the coil, so I'm guessing that that is a bad connection. Needs a little bit of a snug up. You'd think it would be a nut, but it appears to just be like a thumb screw. Okay. That feels much better. Okay, we just got a little spark off of the positive lead when I hooked it back up. Let's put the rotor in place, put the caps back on. Now we'll see if we've got any spark happening. I don't hear any spark. Oh! Heard a couple snaps. Let me put the plugs back in and we'll see if we can convince this thing to do something. We'll drizzle a little bit directly into the cylinders. This is partially True Fuel 2-stroke and then just a mix of regular unleaded because I'm just about out of True Fuel. It appears my can leaked on me. They don't need to be super tight. Let me get the rest of those in and then we'll give this thing a turn over and see what happens. All the plugs are in. Probably a good idea if we hooked up the spark plug leads though. We'll give it a little try, see what happens. Now, well, that's not good. But we do have another option. It's stiff. It hasn't run in a lot of years. In 23 or something like that, to be exact. Let's up our game a little bit. I'll grab the 12-volt battery. Let's see what happens now. We got a little bit more oomph happening here. Try a little bit of gas down the throat. That is sounding promising. We got her. Here runs. I'd like to run a little longer than that though. I don't think this carburetor has an external vent that we can easily fill a float bowl with. But I'm thinking if we pull that cap off, we might be able to get fuel down in there. Let's disconnect this so we don't boil the coil out of it. 6-volt coil, 12-volt battery. Not a good mix. But let's get it to run just a little bit longer, and then I think we'll probably be able to get that 6-volt to turn it over fast enough. It just was really stiff. Let me grab a big wrench and we'll see if we can get that cap off. Well, that is the fuel filter. That should be enough to get us started. Give her just a little prime. Wow, that thing sounds awesome. Now, unfortunately, I've had to run it on 12 volts for the time being. But now that it's run a little bit,
yeah, just let the battery wear down a bit.
Well, now that it's run a little bit, I can probably put the 6 volt back on and it'll probably work.
Yeah.
It just wasn't, it was turning, but it wasn't turning fast enough.
Right.
And the switch on the floor is seized and won't engage, so that's why I'm using the jumper cable.
Right.
Not enough hands.
Yeah.
That runs nice.
Very nice. Incredibly smooth. Wow.
Awesome. Not gonna do it. Starter might need to be taken apart and cleaned up. Well guys, it runs. And I would say it runs pretty good with 12 volts. 6 volts, yeah, not so much. I think maybe we've got some accessories that are a little stiff, and maybe we've got a starter that needs to be taken apart and have a good cleaning. But that is not for today. I think this is as far as we are going to take this one. Thanks a lot for stopping by. Greatly appreciate you taking time to watch the video. If you got this far, give me a thumb up. That's another win. We're going to celebrate that one. If you haven't already done so, consider subscribing to the channel. Love to have you come back and catch some more videos. Maybe consider ringing that bell icon so you get notified when I post new content. We'll catch you guys in the next mess. Thanks for watching.